Okay, I'm just gonna jump in here. And I will start to explain some things more as people get here. But if you're tuning in after the fact and you're looking at this, yeah, I did a lot while you guys weren't here. I had what I like to call a mental health week where I didn't do anything really but play Planet Zoo without everybody. Hey. I think I added some of these light posts off stream too. I added a nice big zoo sign when you walk in. Still am not super happy with the shells of these buildings, but that's fine. I can't remember if we added these on stream or not, but this stuff's on the back. The Arctic Fox building is... Did I build Arctic Foxes on stream? I actually can't remember, but I feel like I did. But I put in this little garden. People can walk by and see that. Maybe I didn't do this on stream because I definitely decorated this building not on stream. What are you doing? What is happening here? Huh. Dexter. Dexter Winters. Oh, there. Okay. That was exciting. Oh, yeah, I don't think I did this on stream. I put in an Arctic Fox exhibit. It's all interior. I'm actually pretty proud of this building design. Then we got some educational stuff along here. This side hasn't really been done up much, but it's because we're going to wait to see what we do next. This was definitely done on stream. I put this in. I couldn't get it to be a ramp. I prefer ramps, even though everybody in Planet Zoo stands on their own 2 feet. I like to make handicap accessible zoos, if I can. But I think my compromise, because this was just going to take a lot to get this to be a ramp, I think what we're going to do is this access point will be wheelchair accessible. And so then it'll just, you will still be able to get there, you just won't have 2 options to get there, you'll only have 1, which is obviously not like super fair, but it's not undoable. I've just put some water in here for aesthetics. I think we'll kind of decorate. My plan is to not really do anything down in these ditches, but just have them be scenic. Tigers are still here. They've gone through a generation while we were no longer with each other. Since I named the zoo Alderaan Planetary Zoo, I did Bale's Bites and Bria's Bites for the restaurants. But this is added. I'm actually not... I'm really happy with what I did here, and I also don't super like it. So it might be something that I recreate later on in the zoo. But I made that Japanese macaque, red crown crane walkthrough habitat, and it's just... I think it could have been a little bit bigger. I think it's a little squashed. And it's not super themed, but there's other things I really like. I really like the climbing structure I made in here for the macaques. And what's funny, I did not do this on purpose, but the staff can actually come up here. So, like, sometimes you'll watch zookeepers, like, vacuuming the walkways, which I think is really funny. You can see a macaque's up here now, playing with it. So the macaques can come up here to sleep. The animals in here have been really stressed out because the exhibit has been so popular. That's what all of my welfare issues are, due to animal stress. I've turned down the maximum number of guests I can have in the zoo down by like 1,000 people, so now I can only have 15. No, I think I turned it way down. I think I can only have 1,500, and I had it set to 3,000. And it's gotten a lot better. My zoo is too small. So the zoo has a really high rating, so a lot of people are coming. But the zoo is so small that all those people come and they have nowhere to go. So I just have maxed out, or I've limited how many people can come in. The cranes can swim, but the macaques can only be in shallow water. So I have like this part here that's deep for the cranes so they can swim. But for the most part, the water's shallow for the macaques. This was actually not in the original game. The macaques couldn't go in the water at all, which I thought was really unfortunate because Japanese macaques are famous for hanging out in hot springs. So they added the ability for macaques to hang out in shallow water, which I think was really good. And I had to build this tunnel, which is not super exciting, but basically the cranes were getting stressed out, and I needed places for the cranes to be able to hide. So I just called this walk through Japan. Guests get cold here. And again, that's a thing I wish I could have done. I didn't realize they would need snow. I probably should have known. I've built macaque habitats before. It's just been a long time. And so because the habitat is so small, guests have to walk through the cold area. So down the road, when we expand out to some of these little land islands, I might rebuild it. But I do like it overall. Right. Like, I like the look of the ponds. I like the climbing structure. I think the building looks really good. I'm really proud of this area I built here. I have this nice little pond over here that I think looks really good. So there's some stuff I've done in there for the first time that I like. There's some stuff I don't. It's a learning experience. And I put in European badgers. This building I really like. I'm really a fan. This is actually open here. A little bit of a gap with the North Africa fence posts in there. Got a little badger sign on the outside. This is a little... the decoration on the outside is me getting a little lazy. But I like the sign. And then you go inside. This was supposed to be where the badgers slept, but again, I was having a stress issue where there was nowhere in here for the badgers to hide, so I had to put in like a burrow. So this is your burrow webcam. But I built like a little pond in here, and the badgers are just kind of running around doing badger things. But they're often stressed as well. And then we have a little... You walk down here and you have some stands. I've been watching a lot of, there's a YouTube channel called Lady Designer. Lady Design? I don't know exactly how you'd say it. But she's one of the top Planet Zoo YouTube channels. Like, me shouting her out in no way helps her viewership at all, because she's very successful. But she does these really cool videos where people that are a part of her community, part of her Discord, can submit finished zoos, and she'll go on like walking tours. I love watching them because I get so many cool ideas, and I'll go there and I'll feel so good about the stuff I made, and then I'll watch those videos and I'm like, God, I never would have thought of that. The other thing I did was I built this. So this is a little playground area that's not usable, unfortunately, but it looks cool. I probably, if I had a bit better plan, I could have pathed in here and people could actually walk through, but the idea is this is one of those jet things that people can play on. Oh, I turned weather back on, because I was kind of curious in the weather. But I hand-built this slide, which is pretty decent looking. There's probably better ones in the workshop, but I didn't think it was a bad attempt. Put some balls for the kids that are habitat things. This is a prop. I did not make it. But then I built these, so these are the, you go back there and put your face in the thing and take a picture. I'm sure and then you guys have seen the red panda. We definitely did the red pandas on stream. The other thing I did was one of my favorite things to do, which is a lot of the walking paths have heaters now. Since it is a taiga zoo, it's a little colder, so it keeps your guests a little bit warmer, which is not at all a thing you have to do, but a thing I like to do. But the name of the stream is, today we're going to go over here. Can't see it very well in the rain, but we're going to finally expand this pathway out. Actually, I'm curious how my habitat's in the rain, since I've turned the rain on. I think they're cool. Or, wrong button. Our Arctic foxes grew up, right? I think I was getting those notifications. Should look at my animals. Yeah, several of them grew up, and they're all boys, which is going to create some issues. So we're just going to release those boys to the wild real quick. Where did my glasses cleaner go? I had one of those glasses cleaning rags. My glasses are splotchy. But I do like how the rain looks when you go into like your inside buildings. So like, oh, we can be in here out of the rain when we eat our food, or same kind of thing in here. You can see like the rain outside. I just think it's cool. What I did here too is they were not in range of water. This happened. I know I'm going all over the place. I apologize, but they were not in range of a water filter. And Arctic foxes, I think they can swim, but I don't think they get any particular enjoyment out of it, at least as far as the game is concerned. So what I did was these are ice rocks, and I'll do that sometimes too with decor. And I just did it in a habitat. Is the ice rocks make it look like water, but it isn't water. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. This problem is gonna persist just until we get more places for the guests to walk. I mean, I can also just continue to turn down the number of people I'll allow in my zoo, but okay. We're gonna change the atmospheric conditions so I can build. When I'm just cycling through, I like to have weather on, but if I'm building, I like it. So this will start to clear up here. So basically, we're gonna run this path over to a connecting bridge off of here. And the reason why the stream is called Two Wolves is what I want to do is build here a 2-layered wolf habitat. So we're doing only things from Taiga, right? So we have, there is the maned wolf, but I don't think the maned wolf is, yeah, the maned wolf is warm. So we're gonna do timber wolves, which is one of my favorite animals to build. I don't know that I've ever built a zoo without timber wolves. So we're gonna do a timber wolf, but we're also gonna do an Arctic wolf habitat. And I kind of figured, you know, since it's a mountain, I think I'll have to look into it because I may change my mind. Depending on who needs what amount of space. But timber wolves don't have to have snow, but they like snow. And I know that because I've built so many timber wolf habitats. But Arctic wolves will want snow. So I kind of figured it makes more sense to put the Arctic wolves on top of the mountain. And the timber wolves down here. So I gotta decide how I want to do the viewing area. And I kind of think maybe a loop. So like I'll probably make this a bit of a valley. And do a lot of natural barriers. And then we can send the path through here, and like one goes up and you look at the Arctic wolves, and then one goes down and you look at the timber wolves. And then there's a little bit of room over here for some staff stuff or some vending machines or what have you. We're probably going to build a little staff village here is kind of my thought. And then put some decorations out in front of it. Just because right now, this is the only staff facilities I have in the zoo. Like in the whole zoo. Is this little thing over here. And it's going to just, it's already a bit of a hike for the Siberians. It's very much a hike for the Arctic wolves. Or Arctic foxes, sorry. And so I think somewhere either here or here we'll put in some staff facilities. We may even try to get fancy, and I might tunnel the keeper gates into at least the Arctic wolf, if not the timber wolf. But we'll see. I'm not very good at tunnels and underground paths in this game. So we may take this as an opportunity to get better. And we may take this as an opportunity to ignore it. So Arctic wolves, like 8 males up to 8 females. So let's look at what kind of space they need. Let's say we did 6. And then they would have upwards of 6 babies. they're gonna want 20,000 square feet. I think Arctic wolves want more land than timber wolves. Now I think timber wolves like similar numbers, but yeah, they actually like a lot more. Timber wolves similarly kind of have the same land requirements, but in that regard, I'd want it bigger because I can actually have more timber wolves. So just from a space perspective, then, that kind of keeps me where I want, which is we're going to put timbers down here, Arctic's up here. Now, Arctic wolves can obviously go up and down a hill, right? So I don't want to completely flatten this, but I also want to do a lot of natural barriers. So I think the first thing we're actually going to do, we're going to start with the guest paths so that I can kind of see what the guest paths are going to look like. We can redo them, we can take them down, but this is just going to help be a visual guide for me to know what I'm trying to do here. I kind of want to do a different path. I actually kind of like this one. Can I pick colors? No. I don't know that we're going to keep this one, but we're just going to pick something. I did 20 wide. I don't know that it even needs... I could probably do 16 wide. 20 wide is probably too wide. That's okay. So I'm going to hit shift to get this up off the ground. I'm going to try to figure out where exactly we're going here. If I do, say, this, and we walk around over here, and this is where we view the Arctic wolves. I'm not going to get away with natural barriers here because the wolves can jump. That's okay. We'll figure all that out in a second. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to hit control so that I can do a separate path. And we're going to do a path down here. And this path is going to be timbers. And again, I'm not married. I'm not committed to these paths. These paths are... We're just going to see what happens. So I'm going to drop down one notch again because I really like ramps. I like to keep, if possible, everything handicap accessible. And you can see that it's not working well for me. That's part of why I wanted to do it like this. So what that means is this pathing might need to be a different distance apart. Do, 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 do. Do, do. So we'll just get rid of the path. Maybe then what I'll do is I'll just build it as a ramp. I don't want to build it there as a ramp. Ankle snap. There we go. Gosh dang it, no! Do, 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 do. Nah, we don't need ankle snap on. Do, 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 do. No, that's a stair! That's a stair! Don't like it. Is this not working? Stop. It probably doesn't work because I didn't keep a straight path, right? That'd be my guess. So then I think what we'll do... Huh. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'm aware there's a malformed path part. That's what I'm trying to fix. Game's like, did you know you malformed your path? I'm like, yeah, I'm aware. I'm really, really actually quite aware that I did that. See, this is why I kind of like to do all this first. It's like approximately, and you're still like, to get into the wolf habitat, you're still going for a bit of a walk. Now, I wish with the paths I could just move them, because like I just did all of this. I think I actually want it closer to over here. Let's see how far back we can just spam the undo button. Okay. Maybe what I actually want to do then is make this part first. How wide is this? It's like 26 is correct. Maybe not. Maybe it's... No, 30 is even smaller. I think I made this like effing gigantic. Yeah. So let's actually try to do this part then. So what we would then do is, I want to maintain the corner. And we have this nice path. And I'm keeping it really wide because this is going to be... Path supports, please. I personally want path supports. You could also make your own, but... So we're going to do a ramp up. And again, I'm keeping it wide because it's one of the primary pathways, right? There we go. Look at that. So now it's still accessible on through. So the idea is like we'll have this. And like from here, we can go over to this spot, right? And do something over here on this island. Connect it in from this corner, right? So like we could run a pathway here, connect it here, and then we could go up to that little island. So we have some options. And again, I really don't like that this isn't a ramp. It's gonna drive me crazy. We did the railing change. Are you using a different kind of floor? No. It must have something to do with it being path supports versus no path supports. Hold on. Let me experiment with that. Is that true? That's so weird. I have no idea why the fencing changed, but I like this fencing better. But I also want the fencing to be like all the same. Huh. Okay. You know what? That's not right now's problem. Is what I'm deciding. So like I said, my plan too is to go through, maybe bring this water up even higher. I wanted to put water in there. I may bring it up taller. And we'll put some trees in there and it'll be real scenic, but I don't want to do that until I have a better concept of what all is going over here. I specifically left this flat path here in case I ever want to juncture off. You can't veer off from a slope. So I kept this part flat so I could venture. So now we have this pathway through. So now we're going to go back down to a 20-piece path over here. Let's get it approximately the same height. Go. And I lost it because I... Okay, so it's approximately the same height. And we're going to go over here. Like that. So this is the same height. So this can be where we view the timbers. Well, we can turn path splits on. going to view the timber wolves over here. Actually, here, doing a ramp. We're going to go down one level. I just feel like this is very high up, but maybe... maybe it isn't. I'll keep the angle snap on, just because the way I want to do these ramps, I need to be a bit more precise than I had been. So Timberwolf viewing area. And then we're gonna do this. Go up. 2. Won't this go there? It will. It will. It's just being finicky. Come on. I saw you. I know you exist. There we go. Interesting. So that's actually not going to be tall. Well, we'll bring the train down. I think that's what we'll do. So I'm going to push down something like this, because I wanted to fix this area up here up anyway, right? So we're going to flatten here, because this is where the pathway is going to go. We're just going to carve into this mountainside. I did say I wanted to do minimal landscape changes, but I feel like this is more contouring than bending to my will, if that makes any kind of sense. So we'll have like a flat spot here for the wolves. And then what we'll do is give them the ability to climb up. I mean, they should be able to, actually, from over there. I was trying to make this into a cave, but I can still make this into a cave. I can just also make this climbable. Actually, I have a neat idea for a cave, too. Okay, so let's go back to paths. And again, this looks real sloppy right now, but we're still in planning stages. Like that. So you're going to walk over here from here. Pretty much how this is going to go. So we'll have this big walkway up here, which right now is not super fun to walk on, but we will be doing things that makes it super fun to walk on over time. We will get decor and whatnot going in here. So this will continue to be a big part of the hub. We'll build a habitat over here eventually. Again, with a connecting path that goes over here, connects over there, and eventually comes up here. This might be a good spot for something. I still think this wouldn't have been a bad area for a polar bear habitat either, but I really wanted to do this 2-layer wolves thing. Give me 1 second. I just got a message I gotta address. I'll be right back. Okay, sorry about that. I try not to do that type of thing during stream, but I had sent somebody a message and then, like, not finished. And I was very much unintentionally leaving them hanging, so if I did not stop what I was doing, they were gonna not be able to advance with their day, which would have been also rude. So, there we go. Okay. See, that makes... See, I like this notion, but that makes this area really flat and this area really interesting, and then I've carved into it. I'll tell you, here's what we're gonna do. Because I haven't done anything except for work on this. Well, and I sold some foxes, so we can just sell the foxes again. We're gonna reload before I've done any of that construction. Because I'm not super happy with it. We're gonna try again. I don't think the Arctic foxes are actually matured yet. Yeah, they're not. So we'll let those mature, we'll sell them, we'll resave, and then we'll get to work. Okay, so still the same thing. I want to do this over here. I just want this to look a little bit better. So how do I want to do that then? Maybe the answer then is to bring the path in here. And I could... How do I want to do this? I really want to do this. I'm very committed to doing this. I just don't know how I want to do it. Because my idea was have two wolf habitats next to each other and make it look almost like they're in the same habitat, but they're not. So I don't think we can live together. Okay, let's... Here's the three boys. We'll save having released them to the wild. So that way, if I keep going back and forth with construction, I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Alright. How do I want to do this then? Yes. I mean, it just might be that the timber wolves have a flat space and the Arctic wolves have a not flat space. So, you know what I almost could do? I could make... It would be a little tricky to do. I think what I'm going to do, first of all, is not do the 2-layer walking paths. So I think what I'll do is the mountain will be a part of the wolf habitat. Maybe we'll flatten it up out here. But we'll probably put both pathways more in the middle instead of along the edge. But another thing I can do is I can make like an interior glass walkway for the people, not for the wolves. Wrong one. Right? And that would be a barrier because it would be like making a inside habitat. This would act as a fence. And on either side, you would have wolves. So it really wouldn't look like they're in the same habitat. But, like, you could kind of see them on either end. I think that would be kind of cool. I I think that would be very cool, actually. So now, we'll go back to what we were doing before. We'll go back to making a path. Like this. What I'm going to have to do, though, is make it a grid. Because if I don't make it a grid, I'm going to regret it. So, like, here-ish. Aligned grid. Oof, hold on. Select grid. Aligned grid. Can I rotate the grid? No, this is going to be the grid. Well, I don't like that. Like, I want to be able to build a, like something straight that way. Maybe angle snap is the issue? See, it wants me to do this, and I want this turned. I think what I could do is then do this, select a direction. Okay, that did it. Like this. I want to do curved edges. We won't worry about right there. Like that. That looks a little wacky. Not bad. Right, and then the Arctic wolves can be up on a slant. Like, they definitely can be. And we can flatten up here for their stuff. And then the timber wolves can be in here, and I'll make this a little bit more interesting. Again, not drastically changing it, but playing with it a little bit. We could even make like a river through here, which would be kind of cool. So let's go back and do this bit that we did last time. That support's on. Good, things still not on. And I'm going to intentionally hold off on the slope to a little bit later than I did last time. One little flat section in case I need it. And then continue the sloping. There we go. Beautiful. And this time the path did not randomly change, which is good. So that must have been like a weird glitch or something last time. So again, this can go that way now if I want it to. It can connect over there. There's a nice little slope here. And we're going to do some cool stuff down there. I don't know quite yet what we're going to do, but we're going to do something. Go back to 20. And I may regret this, like, in terms of not making this thicker. But I just think that by the time we do anything here, I'm also going to have a path going that way. And I'm going to have this path going that way, and this is just going to be kind of an intersection into an area, right? I don't think it's going to be a particularly big deal. I don't want to keep doing that, but that's just going to get me going again here. Beautiful. And I'll tell you what, I'm not usually the biggest fan of this, but just for the sake of uniformity, we're going to do that. Okay. Now, I'm not going to do too much of this right now. But I want to do enough of this to make sure it works, because this is going to be one of the barriers for the habitat. So if this doesn't work, you know, then I have to go back to the drawing board. So we're going to try this out. Let's get this as even as possible. Zoom in on what I'm doing here. Okay, I think that's as even as possible. Let's just see what we can do here. Nope, it's not even. That's fine. Let's just build it and go from there. Because then I can adjust it. Actually, take that back. I don't use the curved glass very often. And I would like to. Gonna fit okay? Looks like it. I think it will fit okay once I get everything in place. It's the right one. I thought this said door. No, we're good. This is the right one. It might be pretty snug though, so we're gonna find out. I might have to actually go a little bit wider just to oversell it, but we'll see here. So we're going to hit X. We're going to hit X again. We can rotate this. We're going to hit X again. Oh, we might have lucked into something here, actually. Oh, see, that panel's wrong. We'll fix that panel here in a second. Let's just look at this. How's it looking? See, that's off. I don't have angle snap-on, so that's good. That might be pretty close. It's pretty close. Let's see, we're like real over here. But I think we can fix, as long as the angle's right, and it's not. I think the problem we're gonna have is it's not specific. Like, I'm just not entirely sure this, like, I only moved it one notch and now it's way off. Gosh dang, I hate this game. See, and it's off up there. I think the only other solution I can do is make this building a little too wide. So, like, what I can do is go into here. First of all, let's fix this. Step one. Fix that. Okay, that was step one. grab these real quick. Temporarily move them there. See, we have these extra panels, but they're not on the grid. So what I'm gonna have to do is go X. Come on now. But it's because this is on the grid. I can't. Which means I'm not going to be able to do what I want. So I'm going to have to make this really wide, I think. I mean, I don't have to. I know what I could do to make this work a little bit better, but it's going to be such a pain in the butt. I'm not sure it's worth it. So I think what we can do is just make this one literally too wide, and then we'll come over here. Grab all these. No, gosh dang it. Guess I can't use multi-select. Hello! I cannot read your name, but I appreciate you being here. How are you today? We are just working on a little side-by-side habitat over here that I'm pretty excited about. I'm just trying to get a space here to work kind of the way I want it to. And it's not going according to plan, but that's okay. So basically what I can do is I can over-widen this, right? And now it's definitely too big, but that's not really going to impact anybody's ability to view anything. And it'll work pretty nicely. So then what we can do is, while we're still in build mode, floors. I don't want to use a glass floor. Whoops. We could do like the Arctic wood floor. Like this. I'll probably change the path itself. I just literally selected that one. Pick one, we can very easily change it once I know what I actually want the design to be. And I'll probably pick something that will be close to this Arctic wood. And again, it's not necessarily my goal to work on this a lot. I just need it close. There we go. So I can kind of know what I'm going for. So I can actually start building the habitat. Do, do. Do, 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 do. Alright, there we go. And we'll make this 2 stories tall. I'm not going to put a roof on this yet because, one, well, I guess this is actually all the same reason. It is much easier to decorate the inside of a building before you put the roof on, and I'm not going to decorate the inside of this building until we've actually finished the animal part of the structure. I'm literally just doing this for the sake of being able to build the habitat. So this will kind of help with that. And I think what we might actually do, it helps if you can spell. We're going to go to the Arctic wood pack here, and we're going to drop it down like that. And we're actually going to create a base here. And what I may do when we get into the actual habitat construction is I may end up opening this up so that animals can use this as a shelter. I may not. I am undecided on that at this point in time. Oops. But again, I have to put these in so that when I use the null barriers to make the habitats, the animals will stay in the habitats until I can get the rest of it figured out. In fact, we may even do this just for good measure. So now the idea is eventually we'll build some kind of doorway and you'll walk in and this will be a viewing area for wolves and other wolves. So we have the accessibility part of it. Around here, I am going to want water, especially in the timber wolf habitat. So I'm going to have to get staff stuff figured out somewhere. Because I don't think that one's going to have the range. It's not going to have the range. It'll clean this. But that's okay. Because I think, like I said, I'm going to make a staff area over here. But I don't think a water filter over here is going to have the range either. It's not. So somewhere over here, I'm going to need space for a water filter where it's not going to piss off guests. I might be able to put it underground. We'll get it figured out in the future, just not right now. Okay, so we're going to push this space in a little bit, just so it's not all right up on everybody. We're just not going to drastically change it. I'm liking this much better. This second attempt, I think, is looking just a lot better. The problem's going to be if I find out wolves can't scale hills very well, but I just don't think that's going to be true. I don't think that's true of wolves. So the plan for the Arctic wolves is up here. I'm going to make this pretty big. We're going to flatten this out. So we have a nice little flat mountaintop area here. And this is, again, if I can get staff stuff up here, I think that's going to be really good, too. Now, you're not going to be able to see the Arctic wolves up there super well if you're a guest. But that's not really the point. I think we're going to put Arctic wolf shelters and stuff up here. And the idea is... I don't know why I just did that, but I did. You'll kind of actually look at them here on the side. And over to here. And then they'll have like their little hidey-ways space up here. You know, this would actually be a good spot for a staff zone right here. It's just going to be a question of how do I get a staff zone there. I know the correct answer. The correct answer is I need to make a tunnel. I just suck at making tunnels. Like, so badly. Oh, I'm on smooth. Spot up here. Smooth this out. I don't even necessarily need the tunnel if I do this right. So I can make a little staff zone here. And I can make it look, I can actually dress it up to look like a cabin. Like if you're walking up here, you're like, oh, that's a nice little cabin. It's a staff facility. Psych. You know, like that kind of a thing. Mm. Oh, I have some really good ideas. This is gonna take a minute, but I have some ideas. And some thoughts. Okay. It's probably not the wisest choice to always start with pathing first, but because I am so unconfident with my path building abilities, it's often where I want to start. Because I'm like, I don't want to do all this work and then not be able to make a path. What we'll do here actually is do this, because then it'll kind of force the game into doing what I'm trying to do here. There we go. Really. There we go. Okay. I have ideas for this too, so don't you worry. It'll all of it's gonna come together. All of it's gonna come together in the end. So what we're gonna do make a much smaller flattened foundation. Carve a little thing into here. This is going to become access to Arctic wolves. Why won't you let me? Gosh dang you, game. I'm holding control, make a separate path. I don't know why it's still forcing me to do that, even though I'm hitting this button. It's not wide enough to do what I want to do. That's the primary problem. There we go. We'll fill this in with some rocks and make it look better is basically my plan. Turn off flat terrain, because that's just going to continue to cause me a headache. Oh, I did not realize this was a thing. Okay. Again, if you're ever on push and you need to pull for the terrain tool, you just have to hold control and it will toggle the opposite one for you temporarily so that you can do this. And we're also going to go ahead and kill this path now that I've made room for it. So when I put in the gate, it works. Pretty much the plan. Okay. Now the other thing I kind of want to do sneakily over here is we're going to take the terrain tool. Take this out so I can actually adjust it. And we're going to make this a much sharper cliff. And the goal in doing that is that I can use this as a barrier. Go ahead and put a little bit of water back in there to hide how ugly that looks. But the idea is now I should be able to use a null barrier there because I don't think they'll jump down there. They might jump there. But we'll get it figured out. So then what I'm going to do is go barriers. I'm going to place one right here because this is going to be the split down the middle for the two habitats. Pretty big habitat, so we'll go ahead and make this wider. Just kind of curve over here. Get it to the edge. And then the goal is to use the null barrier. Turn curve off. Really doesn't matter with the null barrier. I have angles in fun. And we'll play with this here in a bit. I'm going to keep using null barriers here because even though they could definitely jump there, I'm going to do something about it. It's never important that your null barriers actually look good because no one will ever see them. The whole point is that they're invisible. Right down the middle here. There. Now what I don't know is for my Timberwolf habitat where I want the staff going into the habitat. I know where I want them going into the Arctic. Probably do here. There we go. This is going to take some work, but we're going to get there. And then what I'm going to do is come back here. Curve. Add. And we're going to kind of butterfly out. And then that leaves this big open space. And this space can either become another pathway or something in the future. It'll all depend on how much we actually expand out in this direction, which will be some time before we ever would. This is another thing I might want to make a null barrier, but I'm just going to not worry about it for the time being. But we're going to hit here, and then we're going to go null barrier. We're going to turn the curves off so I can manipulate this easier. Yeah, I know. Calm down, game. We're going to do a nice little space here, because that's where the gate's going to go. We'll go ahead and make this null. I'll put stuff in there to make it work. Why? And then we'll come around here. Gate. Oh, we're not working. Not working. Okay. So I'll move it. No, I want you to go this other way, not that way. I think I know what the issue is. It's the drop off here. See, that's going to face it the wrong direction. If the path's going into the habitat, then it's going the wrong way, basically. So that means it can't be the drop off, I think. So let's go into terrain. Here we'll smooth. I don't need it to be quite that big. We'll smooth this out. And here we'll try to create a little bit more room. Is it like this specific gate? Could I make it? Oh. Ah! Got it. Okay. Gate in. And we put the gate in this one already, didn't we? We did. So does that mean both of these are considered habitats? I connected them all the way through? Looks like it. Okay. And then if I click here, connected them all the way through. Okay. So that's good. Oh, this is gonna be so much work. I think the Timberwolves is just like drastically bigger. But see, this is 73,000 feet. Now, not all of it is usable space, but it's big enough. This is just ridiculous. I made something ridiculous here. This is just insane. But we'll just put every Timberwolf you can possibly have in here. It'll be fine. I'm also going to put a lot of trees in here and the like, and that's going to eat up some usable space. Now, before I start filling in the boundaries, before we actually get the animals, we're going to do the other part of my idea up here. That's going to involve building a waterfall. A really cool waterfall. I'm going to steal some tricks that I saw off of some videos to make something really, really cool. We'll fill this in more with rocks and stuff, just not at the moment. And then the plan from here, what they did was they rotated the waterfall on its side, like that, and it created angled waterfalls, which makes total sense. It just didn't immediately occur to me. So like if I actually hit play on the game, you can see what that looks like. Some of this is just going to be the long grass. Looks kind of gross, but... we're going to go into construction. Because these are longer, right? This one's longer, but not as wide. So, we're just going to have to put some next to each other. Or I can just go with this and it'll be fine. Alternatively, how does it look if I spin this? Interesting. So it really doesn't matter what angle it's at, I guess. Which is fine. We're gonna fill a lot of this in with rocks and stuff. What I might actually do is change the rock color. I don't mind that, actually. Waterfed color is fine, foam color is fine. Now what I want to do, we'll pause this. We're going to go in and change the colors on these. So the rock color is going to be this color, and the water color is going to be this color. We're going to do the same thing here. And we're going to do this now, because then, as I continue on, and this might look really clumsy, because this is my first attempt at doing this, so not that anyone on here is ever very judgmental, and I appreciate that about everybody, but I'm trying something for the first time. So we're gonna see how it looks. But I want to create like a little river flowing down through this path. Like that. Yeah, that once I fill rocks in around that, that's gonna look really cool. Like it needs some love before we get there, but in broad concept, I'm liking it. I want to angle this one. Starting to get into the ground a little bit, which I don't want. And I can play with the terrain a little bit here too if I need to. Flatten out a little and come up. See, we're just slightly peeking into the walkway. We'll go down a little bit like that. Like that. And then we'll flatten out again. Like that. I think we're very in the ground there. No. That still looks good. Like that. Thought I turned weather off. Oh no, I turned it off in my other save. We'll turn weather off here. Just for building purposes. Now this one... This one I need to move slightly. Just so you don't see that edge. That's pretty good. So then we'll go into painting. Take the long grass down, although the long grass could also create its own effect. I would rather do that with plants. Like that, see? And we've created a little river, and you'll walk over the river to get to the habitat. It's just going to take a lot of filling to make it work, but I think, again, in concept, it's pretty cool. So before I get too attached, what I need to know is the range on this thing. How am I going to make this work? Because otherwise I could put one... Actually, you know, in all honesty, I could slap this thing here. And it would work, and I could cover it up. And I'm going to want to build a structure over here for the fence anyway. So I could either slap this thing here, or do something else. I think, for the time being, we're going to slap this thing here. I may come up with something a bit more attractive in a minute. But for the time being, there's going to be no power over here either. we're gonna do a solar panel. Just because this is probably gonna broadly only power this thing. And I don't know if it's going to mess with my guest path or not. Oof, okay. Make this work. It'll be fine. No! Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. You need one on this side? Nope. Again, I will eventually come through and make that look better. But for now, we just have so many things. I'm just like, I can go through and make everything look better eventually. I just need to know that things are possible. And once I know things are possible, we'll spend time making things look better. That's pretty much where I'm at with everything. Sorry, didn't mean to close the game. I was trying to adjust the setting and it closed the game. I mean, it didn't close the game, it closed the window. Okay, so now that we have this set up, and I know how that's gonna go, what we're gonna do is make them a little right, so the water's gonna come down into here. How much of this do I want the water to go that way, and create another waterfall over there. It's pretty much how this is gonna go. So they're gonna have a little bit of a pond. Over to that edge. Right, so if you're here, you're gonna look at that and it's gonna be a nice little river. So then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here, go up to this piece, duplicate it, that way it has our same color settings. And we're gonna drop it in here. And again, we'll, you know, and I'm gonna have to make it tall, because if I want to put the water in, this is gonna have to hold the water in, right? Like, it's basically gonna have to be. I didn't think about that until I did this, but I hope this causes the space to be watertight. And what I'm gonna have to do is this. This is just ugly because of the boundary line. Come on now. A lot of experimentation going on here. Much in the way of experimentation. Let's make this shorter. It'll make it more able to be handled. Make this a little bit better. So this is what we'll do. We'll fill this in here like this. And we'll use the push tool and push it back out of the water like that. Then the ground should actually be filled in here. Something, oh, I saw it. Well, would you look at that? It broadly works. There was a broad amount of working there. Somewhere around here it's not working. And again, I think this problem is because of this barrier. So I think if I go to barriers, temporarily get rid of that, and go to terrain. What we're gonna do is we'll do flattened foundation, but like a really tiny one. Apparently that's too small to even do anything. Hey Ray, welcome! I am experimenting this morning. Oh, I see why it's not working. It's because I still have some water in there. Okay. That makes way more sense why this wasn't doing what I was asking it to do. Somewhere around here, it's probably too low under here. What it looks like. Just filled something in under there. We'll do this like this, and then I've done quite a bit of building since the last stream, which was not really my intent. Now we're building this on stream. I think I can make this work, because then what I can do is take this, push it back like that, bring it down like that, and then we'll just cover up a lot of this by making more than one, like that. But yeah, it'll all look pretty eventually. Give it time. Give it time and it'll look pretty. There we go. Most of this looks problem isn't anything we can't solve without a little, or nothing we can't solve without a little bit of rock action. So now that all this stuff is locked in, I'll try to push down what I can. And then we'll go into rocks. Rocks we can do for this rock, we can do this one. There we go. And eventually I'll probably like continue that all down. But again, we're going to do a lot of this, make it prettier once I know everything works. So I got a lot of ways to go yet before I find out what does and doesn't work. This was just step one. Now, out of curiosity, I can't use this water cleaner to get the Arctic wolves a lot of water, which is okay because they have room for their own water filter up here. So let's take some time. I kind of want to just get the animals in here now. So let's work on actually animal proofing a lot of this. The goal that they can't get out. And I want rocks here anyway because of the waterfall. But the rocks are gonna create a boundary for us. So Monday starts my schedule flip at work, which I believe I talked about on stream last weekend. So I don't know what that is gonna look like for the stream. That means if I stream, it will be primarily morning streams. I started this one around 9 Eastern. They may start a little earlier. It'll depend because I'll also be like sleeping after work. But again, I'll probably do something like this where it's not super critical that you catch every stream or whatever to know what's going on. Like I'll probably wait on Tomb Raider until after the schedule flip is done. But alright. Now here, this will also broadly get fixed when I finish this building. So that might be one of the other things I have to do also. There we go. And the other reason why I'm going to want to get some animals in here is to know if this even... So my hope is I'm going to find out this boundary is good enough for them to not get out. So that it's going to be primarily here that I have to do anything. But I'm going to need to get an Arctic and a timber wolf in. I'll probably just order one of each. And get them in the habitat. And then I can figure out what immense amount of work I need to do to fix my overly ambitious idea. I guess it's not an overly ambitious idea, it's just an idea that required far more planning, pre-planning than I actually gave it. Is pretty much what's happening. I think what we'll do here is barriers. I like to click on this one. Bring these barriers closer to the edge. Because then my hope is that the edge actually either is or can be made into a barrier. I won't have to do anything else with it. Right, I am very certain this will not work out as smoothly as I'm hoping it will. But I also don't think there's much more I can do without actually putting animals in. So, I need an Arctic wolf. We'll just pick the youngest one. She needs to go here. And then I need a timber wolf. And again, I'm just going to pick the youngest one. Invalid destination. Why is it invalid? Okay, so that means there's something wrong with this habitat. Multiple multiple gates. What are you talking about? I'm wondering if maybe... Hold on, let me try this. This is gonna be timber walls. This is gonna be Arctic. Wolves. So multiple gates. I definitely have not put more than one gate in here. Like that, actually. It's the only thing I can think of. Somewhere in here. Ah, there we go. I took this, that's exactly what happened. I took this barrier down and never put it back. Okay. Mystery solved. Mystery solved. That should fix it. This new pathing should also help with our welfare issues, because people will actually start coming over here. Actually speed this up a bit, because it's going to take 9 years for the animals to get over here, which is why I'm going to need to build a new staff zone over here to help with all this. But again, that will come in a minute. Drop the animals off. Okay, so let's see what we got here. You have so much land, which is great news. Traversable area. Okay, there is escapable zones around here. So let's get to work on that first of all. What? Oh, I see. Okay, well, first of all, This, yes, I can see how this would be considered escapable. Make that a concrete wall. That will resolve that particular issue. There we calculate. Okay. So now, this isn't really escapable. It's just the matter of the null barriers. Are like, he can go like behind the null barriers, but he can't actually get out. So what I'm gonna do, or she, sorry, we'll just slap some rocks down. And now she can't go back there. The other thing that was a problem was right here. So then the other solution to that is, again, more rocks. We just make a better rock wall. Okay. See if this resolves everything. Okay. So the Arctic wolf can now not get out. So we're good. Let's head over to our timber wolf. Array here. you can get out in so many places. So many places can you get out. Now, I was right though, you can't go down here, which makes me think this is more of an issue of where the null barriers are placed. Like, I even wonder... Yeah, I get it. Just looking at it. I think if I move the null barriers here, like a little lower, like that, and then I do this. I want to have this not take too long, but I'm going to have to do a lot of this individually because this stuff's going to be funky. Okay, let's just see if that worked before I spend a lot of time doing this. No, not the rock. The wolf. There we go. Recalculate. Nope, it can... Okay. So that just means he can get down this edge of the cliff. So what I need to do is... Yeah, this is gonna go weird because of barriers. Let's move... Whoops. Like whatever I did, redo it. Let's actually move this more up. At least for the time being. Actually, probably needs to go down even lower. And somebody's driving by my place with just the deepest base. I mean, he is all about that base. And I'm happy for him. I really am. I'm happy that he has a base that makes my body vibrate from several hundred feet away. That's so great for him. Okay. So we do that, and then we go into barriers. This is very much experimentation for me, so hopefully this is not uninteresting for other people. Recalculate. Okay, we succeeded over here. So this is now enough of a cliff face that he can't get out. So I think over here by where the rocks are, we're gonna just do more rocks. Just because I don't think that's gonna look weird, because I already, like, that's the whole point of this cliff face, right? I don't necessarily want to do rocks, like, everywhere. But I think I can do this here, because it's by the waterfall. This is going to be the problem. But I also have an idea for that. This area, I knew what I was doing. So let's actually just... Here, I don't quite know what I was thinking. Actually, I think I did have this as a concrete wall at one point. I think I may have accidentally turned it into a null barrier. So that's going to fix that problem. Then what I want to do over here... Actually just, like, move this edge. Right? Like, if I just move these... problem because the ground. Just settle for that for right now. Let's recalculate what we got. That should all get resolved now, because I actually just put a fence there. Okay, we're doing so much better. Let's go ahead and fix this little bit here that seems to be there. Just because I feel like this would be easy for, and it's just because you can go under there. I feel like this is going to be a very simple use of my favorite solution. And we'll just place some rocks. Hopefully that will resolve this particular issue. And then he just can't go under there anymore, and that'll fix that. Rocks, rocks, more rocks. I'm big into rocks. Rocks solve most of my problems. Okay, so the issue here is he can get down, but he can get down like in these two spots. So if I actually do something in these two spots, right, that problem goes away. So I can just make this a thicker edge, like that, and that should resolve that. Okay, so that edge is resolved. That area is resolved. So that leaves just here. And the issue seems to be that he can get up there. So again, I was going to place more rocks over here anyway because I need to hide this waterfall and the dirt on it. So we'll see if I just block off that particular path. If that resolves it. And now I'm actually kind of curious about something else. Let's see, it won't let me go all the way up here, which is too bad. Okay, we're getting so much closer. Just so much closer. This case, I think, is actually just an issue of placement. Barrier placement. It's just that he can go out here. So what we're actually going to do, the game's going to yell at me for a minute, but the game can calm down. Game can calm down and it's going to be fine. Okay, did that. Okay. It's funny to me that they can't get out there. And again, all looks so ugly, but it's because I have to get this part down first. Okay, recalculate. I mean, I guess the other thing is, it says he can get out, but it's just like if they happen to walk to the very edge of the waterfall, I might just not do anything about that. Because with this large habitat, the likelihood that they're going to stand right there a lot, to me, is pretty slim. So I think I might just resolve that problem later. I think it's time to start filling in the habitat a little bit more. Now the question is, up here in the Arctic wolves, do I want to give them any kind of water? Like natural water? I think I kind of do. You can do it all the way down here. Interesting. I think I'm just going to make them little puddles. I think what I'm going to do is come over here, There's several things that are going to need to go up here. This is one of many things. We're going to see if I can't slap this in. Now, it doesn't have power, so that's something else we can fix. And then we're going to look at the water range. Okay, so that is going to put water in this habitat, but it's not going to fit there. So we're going to take this water out. That water will go bad if I leave it alone. Pretty much anywhere in this screen I could make something work. Like, let's make a couple little puddles. Kind of my thought. Like that. That. Like that. They're all in the range. Can I make anything work like over here? I wonder if the wolves could get there. I feel like if the wolves could get there, they could get out, is the thing. Actually, I bet the wolves can get on there. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna have to do, even though it says they can't escape there, so I don't know. Let's go back to fixing this space. So I'll feel a little bit better. Looking for a specific piece, but it looks like this specific piece I'm looking for may not exist in glass. Which is annoying, but understandable. And we're gonna go... Oh, duh, I can't find it because it's in arches. Yeah, that's why I couldn't find it. Silly Jess. So we'll do that. I think I might have to find a couple of non-grid wood pieces and make this work. Which I can very easily do. Just means I have to do it. Whoa, what did I just do? There we go. Wrong button's what I did. Uh-oh. That means I did not get that flat. That's okay. I'm not gonna stress about it that much. And then what I can do... put this in, and that will give me... We'll just do this, and we'll just do this, and then... wrong, but okay, there we go. Gosh dang it. These controls. And the reason why I'm doing this is because I don't want that, right? I don't want to... People are going to pass through there, and it's going to look not great. So then I think what I can do is then go to construction, glass, and find some non-grid pieces. This. I just want to make like a column, because there's no glass columns. Which is why I think this will have to be turned into one. Right, like I can do this. Let's just make it look that little bit better. Like that. And then I think what I'll do is doesn't look ideal, but it looks better. Like that. So then you walk in here, and this is your viewing for the wolves and the wolf. They'll have little ponds over here. Oh, gosh dang it. Keep clicking out of the window. We're gonna actually save on this now. Partly because I'm happy, partly because I'm way too committed at this point. Watch it recalculate. Cool. It can access this water. And also not get into this space. I'm pretty sure. Because it's not showing blue in here, so I think that means they can't get in there. Again, I will put a roof on this in the future, just not until I actually set it up in there. So there's going to be a lot to do. I'm going to take a real quick bathroom break. I just panicked that my microphone wasn't on, but I just scrolled out a thing. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break. And then we'll come back and keep working on this. Okay, sorry about that. Wanted to take a breather. This is really scrunching my brain. Oh, hold on. Clicked my mic back, but I didn't click the. There you go. You might actually want to see the game. That might be helpful. Ray, I don't know if you're there or if you're lurking or if you're listening, but if you are, you should see the reel I posted on Instagram this morning. If you haven't seen it already, I think you would appreciate it. Oh, look, the little wolf is on the river. Wolf is on the river. I love it. Okay. So these are pretty big habitats. So what were our numbers again? Arctic wolves. Up to 8 males, up to 8 females. I don't know that I'm really going to do that because that's 16 wolves. 16 wolves. I have the space. I mean, they'd want 27,000. And he's got 60,000. Mind you, I still haven't done a lot of stuff in there. I could potentially... I mean, part of their problem is they're social animals and they want more, right? So we're going to start with getting more animals. Let's start with timber wolves, since I have timber wolves up. I can't remember. Did I get a boy timber wolf or girl timber wolf? The girl timber wolf. So let's get the 2 boys. And this one's actually better. The girl timber wolf. I should also probably focus on the staff facilities up here, but you know, got a lot going on. My brain is in a lot of directions with the setup. So again, the 2 boys and the girl. Let's, before I completely forget, over here, slap down, a keeper hut. I don't suppose I could fit, like, this whole freaking thing up here, could I? I kinda could. I kinda could. I think we do. I think we get this whole thing going. I will decorate this in a minute. What are the odds I can also fit a small staff room up here on this grid? Is this partly on ground, partly not? It is. I'm gonna do that too. I know this looks ridiculous. I'm very aware that this looks ridiculous. Go with me for a second. Join me on this journey for just a minute. There we go. We got it. I promise this will look so much better. I know I've said that about 8 different things. They're all stressed, but once I actually get animals in here and people actually start heading this way, it's gonna way open up the zoo. Alright, some stuff. See, people are on their way. Alright, let's get started here then. Let's just do the simple thing. Let's do the terrain painting. Okay, so I thought the Arctic wolves would like want snow, but they don't. They obviously are fine with having it. But I'm gonna drop some coolers down over here. And just get those going. Because that's where we'll drop the snow in a second. Let's get the rest of this going. Click the wrong thing. Computer's getting a little grumpy. Rock. Mostly they just do not like how much long grass is there. I can't blame them because I'm not a big fan of long grass either. Intensity down so it's a little bit more patched though. They do like some amount of sand, so we'll a little sand bottom on here. We just need so much less. So much less long grass. I'm gonna regret not doing the intensity up higher because it's gonna make it harder for me to actually get all the long grass, but that's okay. Because now the grass is actually gonna be like smidgened in there. Soil seems to be the thing we can add the most. Here we go. Patches of long grass I did not find. We're getting there. So close. They need to be at... I was hoping it'd give me a specific number, but it did not. Oh, you know where I bet there's long grass and I'm not seeing it? Is under this building. Let's turn the intensity up to 100. Probably, like, most of the remaining long grass is probably under things, and that's why I'm not seeing it. Now we have too much soil. Let's do this. Okay, we're pretty happy with this number. Now, they have no hard shelter. I thought about making them a cave, but I actually kind of think making them a building would be really cool. Because, like, if you're down in here and you're looking up, it would be cool to build a building that you could see up there, and then that building is also their shelter. I think something like that would be really neat. So let's pick a wall that we like. There are several options. Vertical wood planks would be not horrendous. Stained wood wall. That would just, it wouldn't have a very natural look to it. Is the thing. Painted brick. No. We could go log cabin. I do like the Indonesian temple wall. You just have to change the colors if you use it for like our zoo scheme. Mind that actually. Kind of snazzy. I think the idea will be We'll basically make them a little wolf house. Like that. Window. If I went to arches, do this at the front so they can get in. And then up here, what do these symbols mean? I don't actually know. Oh, because it's showing me size, and then this is showing me full. Okay, that makes more sense. Symbols do actually mean something. I want to see how this looks from... Can you see it from down here? You sure can. You sure can. So then I think what I'm going to do is... Since you can actually see all of it, I didn't think you would. I thought you'd have to go to the second level to see it. But since you can see all of it from there, that's going to change up my design plan slightly. It's just not blending well. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I actually really like this brick color. Down. See, I like that, but putting the full wall back here, you don't get the window effect as much, and I don't like that. We're actually going to do something a little weird here. Now that we've set that... Actually, I'm just kidding. Now I'm kind of curious. If I remember correctly, this... I'm remembering incorrectly. Let's put down a floor. I think what I'm going to do is here in the walls, we're going to go glass. And we're going to use these walls because they're going to create a possibly crazy light texture. I don't know if they will, but if any of them are going to, it'll be these. I did something wrong here. Why is that taller? Yeah, I did something wrong here. Hold on. Why? Why won't you go? Okay. Huh. Okay. You know what? Let's go with it. I don't know why it's doing this, but I can work with it. Don't give me an opportunity. So see, we'll put the glass back there, and it does create a little bit of a texture, and it lets that light shine in, which I kind of like. And then we're gonna go back into Indonesian. Think about this specifically. It's gonna be harder because it's not on the grid, but I can use this to keep texture and fill in this space, which is why I was not particularly upset about what happened. Right? Like, that looks kind of cool. And if it doesn't look immediately perfect, it's not where any of the guests are going to be. So I'm just trying to create like some interesting lighting, more so anything else. So that when you look through, you're like, oh. Trouble! Well, hello! Thank you! It's so nice of you to drop by! I haven't talked to you in ages because of, my schedule does not blend with Abs' streaming schedule, which is very sad to me. I mean, like, he's gotta do what he's gotta do. I'm not upset with him. But, like, I'm bummed that I haven't been around. Although I might be able to be around the next 2 weeks because my work schedule is temporarily changing. So I might be able to join some late night streams and like actually talk to you guys again, which I'd be really excited about. How have you been? What have you been playing? Oh yeah. See that? I think that looks really cool. Yeah, you're streaming in the morning for me, which is when you go to bed. Since you were, yeah, I understand. My usual hours are 4 to noon, so it's not quite the graveyard shift, but I get the working weird hours, which is why I stream in the mornings. All right, I want to have some kind of nice roof going. What do I want to do for a roof? We could just do a glass roof, but I don't know. Get ready to move to Maine in a couple of months, so lots of packing, cleaning, and painting since you're trying to sell the house. Yeah. I feel like with moving, you do all of the stuff you wish you would have done so you could have enjoyed it yourself. I just feel like that's how it always goes. You're like, I would have been so happy if I'd let myself enjoy this too. I have effed this grid up somehow. And I don't understand how I effed it up so bad. Okay, there we go. That fixed it. I wonder what I could do. I think the rust look on it looks kind of interesting. I think this is one where we could change the color on that one. Will the move also change your schedule potentially? It's more like stuff just never got around to doing, and given the fact that we have 3 dogs and 3 cats finding serious issues. Oh yeah. You get to find all the fun presents they've left for you over the years that they have been waiting on pins and needles for you to discover. That sounds pretty exciting. This works for me. Okay, let's just try the whole thing as a filled-in roof and see how it looks from below, and then we'll decide if we need to do something different. Possibly change the schedule, honestly. You hope not. Kind of like I like the shift I have, too. In all actuality. See, I think this will work. We'll just maybe put something textured under here. God, sorry. Hold on. What did I do? Okay. Like, we could put something on this, like some kind of pattern that would make it stand out more as like a decoration, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's do structural prompt. Generally just like having to deal with people, and then graveyard, you have a minimum number of people. Exactly. I don't necessarily mind the people. For me, the advantage of the night shift is that looks kind of cool. Oh, the grid's off again. There we go. I don't think it's. I think that it looks cool because of a glitch, but it looks cool. So let's take advantage of the glitch. For me, there's less cooks in the kitchen. Like, I don't have like. I'm not like management. Like, there's not a specific manager I'm trying to avoid or I don't like or something. But I like that on my shift there are like less decision makers, so we get to make our own decisions. I really, really like that. I get a little bit more free reign, a bit longer leash, as it were. I'm trying to see if I like this color or not. I'm mentioning you are the supervisor and you work with someone else 1 2 hours. That's nice. 10 hours. Do you do 4 10s? Or do you just have long shifts? I think I'd be interested in 4 10s if I ever had the opportunity. But at the same time, I like when I work, because, like, I'm not a supervisor, but I am very much, like, senior. Yeah, 4 10-hour shifts. That's nice. Um, so, like, my manager comes in a couple hours into my shift, but I really like my manager, like, a lot. So, it does not bother me that he's there in the slightest. But other than that, it's like me and then, like, 2 senior people. So, I'm not truly a supervisor, but at the same time, I kind of am. And it's kind of nice. Rent's not bad. A little rough by the end of the shift. You have no interest in staying longer. That's true. You just call it good. 3 days after all, yep. Well, and if you ever want to take a vacation or something, it's so much easier to, like, fit it into your actual weekend and not have to use time off. Why can't I? This game is. I might have to, like, turn the game off and on again because it's acting up. It's not letting me do things I should be able to do. Maybe I just can't. Okay, well, whatever. Oh, I bet these are grid items. That's why I couldn't do it. Okay. That would make a little bit more sense. I don't know why they are grid items, but it would make a little bit more sense. Change the color on that? I can. I have to remember that these frames exist. I always search education boards for putting my education boards up, and then I forget that there's all these other really cool ones that are just not specifically called education. Some cool ones here, but I gotta remember these are Arctic wolves. So maybe I should look at some of these Arctic pieces. That's kind of neat. The classic shop. But I also have, like, the actual Arctic pieces that are upside down for some reason. James Kraken, what is this game? This is called Planet Zoo. So this is a kind of like a new gen successor to Zoo Tycoon, if you are familiar with Tycoon games. So basically, when I started, everything here just looked like these random mountains, and I've just been adding all of these pieces. If you play in normal mode, there's like an economy and stuff. I have it on sandbox mode, so I can just kind of build. So I turn a lot of settings off for the sake of being able to build. But I'm currently working on some wolf habitats. So I have timber wolves here and Arctic wolves here, and I'm building their space. Alright, let's see. How's that looking from down below? I still haven't put a roof on. Like Roller Coaster Tycoon looks similar instead of Roller Coaster you have animals. Exactly. The same company, Frontier Developers, they make Planet Zoo and Planet Coaster. So if you liked Roller Coaster Tycoon and you wanted to play like a more updated version, you could look into Planet Coaster by the same people. But here, I'll show you around a little bit if you are interested. We have the game on pause. So, like, I'll unpause it real quick. So you come in, you can put in shop. This is a walkthrough butterfly habitat. So you can come in here and there's butterflies flying around. You can make walkthrough habitat. So, like, this has red crowned cranes and Japanese macaques living together. People can kind of come in and see the animals. I've built buildings, so like this is a badger habitat. I have protesters right now because animals are stressed out and then protesters come and stress them out more. It's just a cycle. We're going to deal with that later. Siberian tigers. This particular zoo is in what's called the Taiga biome, which is kind of like not quite Arctic. Feed the protesters to the lions. I could try. Um, so I'm trying to build. You don't have to because I'm in sandbox mode. I can do whatever I want. Nope, they don't let me move the protesters. Or I totally would. But Abs would have to answer them. Abs would have a lot of protesters. It's murder. He would. They don't let you move the protesters, which is so annoying. So like I've built this path so people are gonna get to come up here and whatnot. So I'm just building like a little spot for my Arctic wolves to live in. I'm gonna do bedding, medium bedding. Put some straw mats for the wolves to sleep on. This should solve the whole hard shelter problem they had. I'm leaving the game on pause because I haven't finished these habitats, so the wolves are not going to be super happy. So to avoid more problems with protesters, I'm just pausing the game while I do a lot of things. I should have run it long enough, though, to actually put snow down. Let's do that real quick. Let's see if it messes with anything. So I've made this area cold, so it should actually... You can put in heaters and coolers that change, like, the temperature of the space around. So I put some coolers down here, which means it's actually going to be able to keep snow here, which is pretty cool. They do have better hard shelter now. And they have plenty of room. So I think I could put more wolves in here. I say we grab them. I say we go for broke. Put buttloads of wolves in here. Let's look at a wolf. Their welfare is broadly okay. At least if it's in the orange, they're not going to get protested. So if we get everybody to that level, I should be able to let the game run. These guys have no hard shelter, so again, I'm going to want to make a building down here for them to live in. I'm a little bit overwhelmed because I decided to make 2 habitats at the same time, and so I like want to focus on stuff and it's not going particularly well, but let's start planting trees. So if you click on the animal, you can click on these and they automatically filter your search results in here for that particular animal, which is so helpful. The game did not launch with that feature and they added it later. One of the best features they added because it makes my life so much easier. What? Oh, I'm clicked on a frickin' timber wolf. Okay. That was my own idiocy. Hold on. We'll take the... No, let's click on them. Oh, I had... Okay. Never mind. I figured out what my problem was. It should be fine. Some pine trees in. One of the other things I like to do in sandbox mode is I turn off tree requirements for animals. And the reason why I do that is animals never want as many trees as I want. And I think most of their rules for how many trees they want are dumb. So I choose to operate outside the law with the trees. See, that looks so nice. Nah, I don't want those there because it's going to block the building. I want the building to look really cool. I think what we can do... Message the animals. You will take all the truth and you will work it. Like it, dang it, I don't want to hear any complaints. None. Some grass down. Kind of layer that just because it's sticking out weirdly. Maybe I very rarely do a line to surface, but I think I'll have to for how slanted I have a lot of this. A big believer in texturing and stuff. There we go. What else am I gonna want things? I'm gonna put more trees up in this area, but I want to finish that building first. This was cool. I don't really know what that adds, but it's there, and that's what's important. Surface back on. All the leaf litter from the leaves that it doesn't have. Flowers. Animals complain about the trees, they get into Hancock. He'll eat them too. He'll eat them too. He's probably hungry. Getting a little stressed out by my having a line to surface on. Trees in here. See, this is the part Abs wouldn't like. I'm putting in trees instead of cutting them down. He would want to declare war on the trees. Usually I'm very pro war on trees, but they're very helpful in this case. These are little pools of water I've created for them to like drink out of. I'm actually going to create a bottom out of these mossy rocks just because I think it will make the bottom of these pools look really cool. I love the music in this game. I want to put more stuff like along these ledges. Stuff like this. I don't want to accidentally cut off their access to water though. That would probably be counterintuitive to what I'm trying to accomplish. Really wish I knew if there's a hotkey for toggling a line to surface, but I've never bothered to look it up for as much as I wish I knew it. Flowers grow horizontally. If you didn't know that, they definitely do. 100% do. Moss up here. No one's really gonna see up here, but I think it just makes it look a little cooler. Let's go rocks. You know I like my rocks. I think this will make some of this look a little bit better. Wouldn't know the directions grow even. Well, should you ever try again to grow some flowers, they can grow horizontally. Just ask Planet Zoo. I am a big lover of texture in habitats. How's that looking from here? Pretty cool. Let's let the game run a little bit. Okay. I think there's room to put more in, but first, let's put in some more things that our wolves are gonna need. And then we can kind of work around it. And put in like a food tray right here. Should flatten the ground automatically, and it did. Same kind of thing there. Should flatten the ground automatically. And then some of the wolves can come down and eat. We're going to need quite a few trays because I have quite a few wolves in here. They shouldn't need water because that's what these ponds are for, but I am going to put one water pipe like up here in case they're thirsty while they're over there or something. Oh, their wolves are howling. That's really cool. There we go. Put in all this food enrichment. So many howling wolves. Just so many. Toy enrichment. They're all just howling. I'm gonna want to check and make sure I'm not, like, irrevocably changing the terrain here. But we'll see. So now they have enrichment in. Traversable area. Okay, they can pretty much get to everything. This is just inaccessible. Why? Because it's actually floating in the air. That would make it inaccessible, yes. God, this is so many wolves and they're all howling. It's so funny. Okay, I now have as many wolves as I can have for Arctic wolves. And they're still really happy with their space. So that just means there's gonna be so many wolves in here. Okay, so they're broadly happy. This is so much howling. Oh boy. I'd rather grow mushrooms, at least I want to eat those. Flowers just sound like too much work to me. I can get mushrooms. I think they're just not in this biome. That's so many wolves. Okay, so since these guys are mostly happy, and I feel like more open expanses makes more sense. Who's upset? What are we upset about? Oh, the baby red pandas. Well, that's why people need to come over here to this part of the zoo. Stop stressing out my other parts of the zoo. What's gonna happen is these people are gonna stand here and they're gonna be like, the view of the timber wolves is okay, because you're standing right here. You're not in the actual viewing area. Like, I can't help you. View here is okay. Well, it's just because the wolves are not actually down here right now. They're all up here. I think this is pretty neat. Okay, where are you guys at with population size? You could definitely have more. Timberwolves. In fact, Timberwolves, I think, like having more than the Arctic wolves, if I remember from earlier today when we were looking up all that. Senzu. Put a burger stand all the way at the end of you. I can, actually. Would you like me to? I can. I don't know if I have power in here yet, though. Yeah, it's not powered, so it won't work, but all I gotta do is put some power in and it'll work. That'd be a bit of an issue. That would work. Yeah, that's fine where it's at. You know it'd make you walk that far. But now that I have this area powered, they can come stand over here. They're standing over here anyway, though. Alright, so you like your view of the timber wolves and the Arctic wolves over here. Many guests think the tickets are underpriced. That's nice of them to think that. Now see, this glare will go away when I actually put a roof on this space. Alright, let's work on these guys for a minute. I've not gotten their terrain the way they like it. We're gonna do the same thing I did before. And put a cooler in somewhere so I can get them a little bit of snow. Actually, before I do this, we're going to adjust the terrain. Because I don't like how flat it is. So we're going to at least make it bumpy. At the bare minimum. Like, bare minimum, I don't want all of this to just be flat. We're gonna bump this up a little bit. Katrina! I don't get why people want to pay more for the zoo. I know, right? Welcome, welcome! Getting some friends in here for Planet Zoo today. That makes me happy. This game is awesome and deserves so much love. I would call myself intermediate? Whoa, children cost $100 to go to this zoo. It's funny too, because I don't even think about it, because I have the economy turned off, because I'm in sandbox. I call myself an intermediate player. Like, I am not patient enough to be as good as a lot of people are at this game. But I have pretty good feel of what's going on. I think I want to make a big rock structure over here. I think since they have like this over here, I think we could have some fun building like a really cool thing for the wolves to climb on. I think there's some opportunity here to build a little mountain. And in fact, we might be able to use that mountain as their shelter instead of giving them a building. I go to the zoo. Nah, I'm not. It's for your kid to go to the zoo. You $30. Your kid was $100. That's what happens when you click the wrong button. Here, and make some steps. I think where we built a house in that other one, I think here we can make a mountain. I think that would be pretty cool. Since you have no kids, you're good. Exactly. See? No problems for you. You're square. I think the main impediment to my skill level in this game is patience. I don't have the patience most people have. See, Dave got these to stand up. I don't know how he did that. It's very impressive. For this one, we're gonna do this. Are not blending together as well as I'd like them to, but that's okay. Patience, no clue what that is. Yeah, me either. Sounds like a very strange concept. And then black. Where's the one piece? No. Dang it, why can't I? Not this one, it's the one that's like this one but bigger. This one. Make a nice little walk up here. And they can like jump and stuff. How's this looking from in here? Does it look crazy stupid? It looks slightly stupid. Go as far as crazy stupid, but I would say it looks slightly stupid. Okay. I think part of it is, though, I need to, like, have it make a sensible amount of sense that there's rocks here, right? Like, just kind of gradually have the rocks appear. And then on top of that, not literally on top of that, but like, as well as, I'll just put other rock formations in here, and then it'll look a little bit strange, I think. I like to make little rock things for animals to stand on. I think it's fun. Ah, sorry about the camera. Whipping it everywhere. Okay. Alright, let's see how that works. Can they stand on it? Oh yeah, they can. Does that count for any amount of shelter? Okay, not all the shelter that they need, but it does count as shelter. And then that, I'm not really worried about that as an escape point. Okay, so I have some shelter in that big rock structure. So I think we can just go ahead and build like another rock structure over here. And in this rock structure, they can also have a bit of a cave. Which I think would be nice. Sometimes I just hum the music. You can go on to random rotation, which is another one of my favorite features I added to this game after the fact when it launched. Texture, some stuff in there. I still may have to do more shelter on top of this just because of how many wolves I'm gonna have in here. There we go. Let's calculate what that does for me. All right, excellent. So right now they're still pretty happy. They are not happy with the terrain type, however. First things first, I don't like grass in the water. So let's do that up. Get that looking better. Now sometimes if you texture it, like having a little bit of grass down there adds some cool color. But I think we're going to do something different. Now you notice this is actually not changing my terrain distribution here at all. It's because whatever's in the water doesn't count. They do like an amount of sand, so let's put the sand here as a beach. That makes a certain amount of sense. And then they would still like heck of a lot more rock. So we can put that through here. Is that so small? There we go. Oh, I'm doing soil, not rock. Okay. I mean, they like more soil too, so not necessarily a problem. You put rock in through the rock structures, because that makes a certain amount of sense. Same thing over here. And same thing over here. Get this kind of done up. Why is this circle, like, I swear it's changing sizes. Getting very frustrated. And then you like grass, but you like short grass. So let's go ahead and make some of this short grass. It annoys me that like all of the maps default to long grass because most of the animals don't like long grass. So then you end up inevitably always changing things. And it's just kind of frustrating. But you know where some of this probably is along here. Where I can't see it. I clicked on Timberwolf? I am, okay. It just, this habitat is so massive, I think. That's why this is taking so long. Good one. You have a good one. Time for you to go to bed. All right. Thank you for dropping by. It was good to see you. I hope you get a good night's sleep. And good luck with the move and the renovating and all of that. I hope it goes smoothly for you and you don't find too many pet surprises out there. I think the other reason why this is getting hard to find is the grass is just kind of like scattered through, so it's hard to see what's long grass. There we go. Okay. And then over here is actually where we put down a cooler somewhere, so I'll just put a bunch of snow down, and eventually it will remember where the snow thing is, and it'll be fine. Okay. The other thing I kind of want to do is cover this with rocks, because then this looks less like I slapped waterfalls there, even though that is in fact what I did, and it just looks a little bit more natural. But I have to be careful to not accidentally create the ability for the wolves to get up there. It's going to be a little bit of trickiness involved with this. Because I guarantee you that's actually what will happen. So I have to make sure these are rocks that they can't necessarily climb on. But because wolves can jump, that's going to be a little tricky. So there's going to be some things involved here. It's going to be a process. Is what I'm saying. I don't care if there's a little bit of rock on the path. That adds character. I don't want a lot of rock on the path, but like a little bit is fine. And then what I'm doing now, we're going to eventually do up there, all the way up to the top. We're just not going to do it all right now. I'm probably going to go another hour-ish. So we will this will not all get done today, unfortunately, but we'll get pretty far. Okay, let's recalculate and see if they can now hop up on that path. They cannot. So we're good. You guys can actually take more members. I would like to fill this space up just because it's so big. Now the thing is, people are really going to want to view these things from this path and not from in the building, which is fine. There's so much howling. Just so much howling. Holy crap. One of my other favorite things to do is to make a island. I really like making islands. They're just fun. There we go. Alright, these guys will want... we'll put trees and stuff down here too in a second. Now I'm going to assume that Arctic wolves and timber wolves like very similar things, but I'm still going to select timber wolves specifically in case. Any of that snow stick? Oh, I only thought I put a cooler down, and then I didn't actually put it down because then I went and changed the terrain instead. So now this will get covered in snow. You know, I just realized the way I built this, I don't think... Can zookeepers get over there? They cannot. Okay. What I'm gonna have to do then... more rocks! Any excuse for a rock. Make sure this is staffed reversible. Okay, now the staff can get over there. And they'll have a little bit of snow, which will make them happy. Yeah. So much howling. I kind of like slapping a bunch of food trays on here. Because then, like, all the wolves can come and eat on the thing. And it can just be a big old eating party on the rock. I did not anticipate the sheer amount of howling. We are going to put a water pipe over here, too. Just so, like, if they're this far away from the water, they're not necessarily not going to have something to drink. Alright, now we're going to go enrichment items. I like to put sprinklers on some of these islands. I think that's fun. Prey sack will be cool. The stick somewhere. I'm just a fan of having cardboard boxes in general. Put an ice block. in the snow. They have more than enough toys. Food enrichment. Let's put this here. I think that's cool. So much howling. All of this stuff is good too. Excellent. So now they have the enrichment they want. And they like their population size. And that means I have... And if they like their population size, there's just not enough hard shelter for everybody. Which is okay. So I think that is something I can rectify. If I do this... There we go. That should actually carve out space inside this cave. Yeah, see, that's actually fixing the hard shelter problem. So the thing was, they couldn't use this area as a shelter. And when you put the bedding down, it actually kind of moves the ground so that it can be. Now, we're doing pretty good. We'll kind of throw this stuff over here and see what happens. I think the other thing I can do is delete some of these bigger rocks. Like that. And I think opening that up should also give me some room. 94%. Excellent. We're in much better shape. Now if I took that off over here, is it going to hurt anything over here? It's not. That's just opening the amount of space I have over here. If I took this big one out, does it do anything? No, I had completely covered that big one. Probably the same for this too. And look, my little feeding stand where they're all there is actually working, which is pretty cool. Look at that. What I want to do is turn the food quality up. Same thing up here. I have so much work to do. Just so much. Just so much. So now when you stand here and look at the timber wolves, you can see them pretty well, especially when they're all eating. This zoo is great. Guy's pretty happy. They didn't put much effort into this spot. What spot? Maybe you were looking in not the correct area to look at the wolves. I don't know what to tell you. Because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not right here. Seeing they use the little islands, which I think is neat. Okay, so the next step for these guys is going to be trees. North America, Asia, Europe. We can add temperate trees too. And we might. We'll see. What I want to do is add some of these mossy rocks to these islands. Cardboard is in the water. throw this tall grass, like, friggin' everywhere. Kind of part of my plan. Ooh, we can put some flowers in. I do like flowers. It's a little unwieldy how big these habitats are, but I also really like it. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. I just really like it. And these big trees in over here, which will help block fence. Now, pro tip. You can't necessarily tell because the fence is here, but sometimes trees block access. So you can actually put trees down and use them with a null barrier if you want. Like, you can get kind of creative on how you keep your animals from going anywhere. I see that adds so much. It really does. Get a nice little forest going. Festive spruce you can put in like a Christmas tree, basically. I do like the Himalaya trees. Why not the red? I have an invitation on, it just wasn't working very well. I like to do Himalaya birch, and yeah, this is gonna make it a little harder for them to see the wolves up there, but I'm okay with the wolves having some space where they don't get spotted. Slap some frickin' red cedars down. I pretty much never use the red cedars because they're so ridiculously gigantic. There's some trees. Kind of what we're doing. Just to make it look a little bit more full in there. A lot of this stuff too that just sits on the ground. Yeah, I'm liking how this is going. Quite a bit. Drop more of the food in. So much poop. Just so much. So much wolf poop. Do, do, do. Mostly again, just kind of adding little texture spots. Put some like dead trees over here in the snow area. In general, that just looks very pretty, I think. And you'll notice now that I have everybody coming over here, I'm not getting as many of these animals are stressed out welfare messages. Alright, so I think now is the time to start filling in this building. And that way I can fill in that building, then I can actually put the roof on. And I think that'll be really good too. Let's see, what is it, 12:30? Think it. We got a little bit more time, maybe. So let's build stuff. So we're gonna come in here. We're gonna pick animal dock points. One here. What's that? Oh, I bet that's one of my boundaries. Here. So this is gonna be timber, wolves. Somewhere along the line, I got all caps turned on, apparently. This is gonna be Arctic, wolves. And then I'm gonna go into zoo, education, animal talks, sort by month, because everything defaults to March for some reason. So now I can January, March, April, May, June. I don't have anything in July. So we'll pick July for this one. So January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. Awesome. So those points are in. This is a really neat spot. Alright, let's go to guest facilities, donation box. Pick some kind of wolf-themed colors here. Drop some donation boxes in. We'll put some up here too, in the off chance, you know, people never really go forward, even though I'd like them to. But I don't want to, like, not get donations. You know. And then we'll go here, bins. Like the European bin. And so then these are just trash cans because people are disgusting and will leave their trash everywhere. So we'll put some trash cans down for all the disgusting humans. There we go. And then we'll put some benches in right down the middle here. For people to rest on. See, people already pop and squat because they walked all the way over here. We'll actually rotate a few too, because even though this bench doesn't have a back, they are direction specific. So this way people can look in either direction. They are pretty cool. So now we need to get education boards up. This would be an excellent place for a sign, I think. So let's do abilities, habitat education board, no random rotation, but align the surface. Gonna set something there. Something there. There. And we're gonna go into construction, and we're gonna do what I said before, which is remember that these other frames exist. Not just the ones that say education. I actually really like that. Can I change the color? I can. Now there's definitely gonna be more to do inside. I think sometime when I haven't been thinking really hard for 3 hours, I'm gonna come in and fill in a lot of these details, but I am gonna go ahead and put the roof on now. You can see they're giving one of the animal talks over here. Is there even an Arctic wolf in there? I can't see anything. Well, where were you standing when you thought that? I'd rather it show me where you were standing, not the wolf you thought you saw, but whatever. See, part of the problem is everybody's standing here. And I really don't want them standing here, but there's not a lot about that I can do. So I would be better off just accepting that reality. So then we're going to go into here. Get into this work zone. Go to roofs. Pick a roof that we like. Not against this one, actually. Kind of rusty looking thing. And what I think this will do is fix the glare problem on those windows. So much howling. Like that. Now, if you ever wonder why there's 2 roof pieces for the corners, see how when I put this, I don't know how well you can see it on the stream, but see how when I put this one down, the pattern is going in the same direction? When I do that over here, it's going in the counter direction. So the other one just allows you to put corner things down and have all of the patterns work with each other. All right, let's see how well that achieved my goal here. There we go. So the glare is definitely still there, but it is also distinctly better, I think, especially in this direction. What I could, it's just because the sun's coming in that direction too. I think the other thing I could do is make this half wall solid. I don't think we'd lose a lot if I did that. If I pop into explore mode, if I made that top rung opaque, I think we would lose a lot, and we might save some glare. But yeah, this is not working out exactly as I thought it would. Just because the wolves are staying broadly up here. Even though, like, their food's down here, they have stuff to do down here. Why do you have food there? Hold on. All of these food trays are accessible. Interesting. Well, I guess what I can do is just put a food tray down here for the future. Yes, I know that was still set to Timberwolves, but Timberwolves and Arctic Wolves use the same food trays, so that wasn't going to be a problem. So I kind of got to find a way to coax the Arctic Wolves out, but I think it's just because all the Arctic Wolves are resting. I think if you get them at a time when they're not all resting, like, they'll come down here and play with their toys and stuff. because all of this is reachable. Alpha male, hello. So my wife has been bored lately and she wants to spice up your love life. She suggested inviting an Afro-American gentleman into the bedroom. Should I say yes? My guess, sir, is if your wife is bored lately, it's probably because you spend your time trolling YouTube streams instead of talking to her. So maybe start there. That would just be my guess. I don't really know. But maybe before you go to other things, just try like hanging out with her. That might create a connection that might make other activities go better. That would be my recommendation. But as to anything else, it sounds like that is a personal decision between the two of you. Okay. I want to add some texture over here too. Yeah, I think this looks much better. Yeah, this looks much, much better. Yeah, see, now they're coming down the side of the mountain. Because they have stuff to do. It was just because they were all taking a nap, that's all. That's all. What are y'all thinking in here? It's amazing to be in the same habitat as these timber wolves. Oh, so you recognize that you're like in the habitat. That's really cool. That's a neat feature. Okay. So basically where we're at, let's go ahead and save. I'm gonna have to do a little animal management here too, because some animals were growing up and stuff. So we're gonna want to check on our critters. But basically, I had everything over here broadly filled in. The areas that I hadn't are simply because I don't know where the zoo's going next, so I don't know how to do it. So we have a couple of different things to get work done on that we can work on yet today. And then some other stuff I'll probably do off stream. But the goal is, I think I'm also going to build another staff zone over here. Maybe add another vet surgery over here or something. Just with all of these wolves, it's going to be easier if they don't have to go all the way over there to get treated. So this is a space I'm going to want to fill in. This is a space I want to decorate, and I have some vision in mind in how I want to decorate it. But right now, obviously, this is all very bare bones. So I'm going to fill this area in with rock. I want to, like, flesh this out. I want to make, like, this building look a little bit better. I might still tweak some things in these habitats. And then this area needs to get filled in. And I need to actually decide what the plan is going to be for, like, down here. So I think this would be fun to even fill this up, like, a little higher, right? So then when you're walking, you would actually see the water. And so my plan is to make this into, like, a really beautiful vista. And then you just kind of, like, walk over the water into the different areas. But my guests are also going to be hungry. So I might flatten this a bit and make, like, a food beverage bathroom zone, a little food court, if you will. Not very large, but enough so that they have something while we're up here. So this area is going to get filled in, this area is going to get filled in, this area is going to get constructed. I might actually just go ahead and build the food court area now, because I think that's something I can handle. This needs to look pretty, and then we're going to kind of decide more of what we're doing with this path, fill this all in. There's going to be a lot of decorating now that I've actually started there. And then I think the other thing we can do is eventually put in another kind of habitat over here of some kind. I don't know quite what that would be yet. But I want to focus on what I have before I worry too much. So let's go through our animals here. Just check on them. So some of our Arctic foxes are actually getting a little too old. So we're gonna go ahead and rehome those. And so what that means is this next kind of round of foxes that are growing up, I may not actually release into the wild. I may actually at least keep the ladies. And then, because I have more ladies than dudes, although it will always be the dominant pair that breeds. So inbreeding isn't quite as big of an issue with doggo species. But I might start focusing on the next generation here. That's not what I wanted. I wanted to click on the animal. Thank you. But social-wise, I think it looked like they were a little overstressed by how many were in there anyway. So they're good there. So the Arctic foxes will be happy. Arctic wolves should be pretty happy. They were just brought in. Butterflies are good. What do we got going on with the badgers here? Bravo is still a baby. Baby Bravo. How are our macaques doing? Some of our macaques are getting kind of old. I think they were old when I got them. I don't know that I'm going to replace those macaques, because we have a lot of baby macaques. I mean, population-wise, they wouldn't mind it. But I think we also just have a lot of animals going, so I think I'll leave it be. Alright, my baby red panda got bigger. I don't know that my red pandas will actually have another baby. I may actually... Let's quick trade away the pandas we've had. I really don't like doing that, but I'm not going to be picky right now. So I have a baby boy red panda, right? That was born in my zoo. Yes. So let's find a lady red panda. She's going to be a little bit older than you, but that's okay. Okay. So that will take care of the red panda population. I keep the zoo paused while I go through the animal list because every time somebody gets sold or released to the wild, the list resets. And I have population management on for my butterfly exhibit, which means there's always somebody like being released to the wild. So it's constantly shifting. So I have to look at it while it's paused. My tigers are getting older too, so I think once these boys are older, we'll probably keep one of the boys and go from there. Okay. Everybody else seems pretty square. Everybody has high quality food? Yes. Okay. Excellent. My staff, okay, so my vets feel underworked. Keepers feel happy. Educators feel happy. Caretakers feel underworked. Vendors largely feel underworked. Good, so we don't need to hire anybody. That's good news. See, and everybody's just standing here. This is where they want to look at the wolves. And I guess I can't blame them. Like, you're starting to see them, so like, why wouldn't you want to? But it's also a little frustrating to me. Duplicate. Well, if you're gonna stand over here, you're gonna at least look at a sign. That's what I say. They can't see the Arctic wolves from here, it's only the timber wolves. We'll just put a little timber wolf thing out there too, so the people who are standing there at least read something. And I mean, it's not like they have a bad view. Like, she's enjoying her view of the timber wolf. It was not my goal, but it's not a bad view. So. I think they're trying to actually see the Arctic wolves from here, which is not as helpful. But okay. Some Arctic wolves. I'm not sure this turned out to my vision, but I'm also not disappointed, right? Considering I had never quite done something like this before. And it'll only look better as I fill in the rest of this. So I think it's looking pretty good. Just in terms of scheduling. Oh, I've said it a couple times, but just to reiterate, my schedule's shifting this upcoming week. So if I stream at all, it'll be morning streams. I'm not sure I will stream much during the week because I'll be on such a different schedule. I may just not feel like it. I'll try to stream this upcoming weekend. And I don't see a particularly strong reason why my normal weekend schedule would be that different. And so we'll probably just do another check-in on this zoo when that happens. Alright, now let's go over here. And, flatten this out. That shouldn't negatively impact the tiger habitat. It should not. We'll make a little spot. Like this. Make a little grid. It's only going to be able to do so much because I'm asking it to change the terrain, which is fine. There we go. And then we'll deselect grid. Yeah. Don't try to flatten the terrain, and then it'll work. Okay. There we go. I do tend to find 2 ways in and out helps a lot. Is this area powered? It broadly is. It's broadly powered. So if I put the stands over here and the other stuff over here, that will be better. And honestly, I mean, I did get a staff room up here, but I may try to do a lot that's vending machines for the food. I don't really like that. Hold on. There we go. Missy goods. Put in some burgers for trouble. Star Fox coffee. Cosmic cow milkshake. Now there's some food and water up here. I want to put a restroom up here, but I really like the restroom shell I have in other places. So we're gonna go over here. There we go. Duplicate. And we'll put it off this edge because of the power situation. That actually broadly works. this piece I'd like to duplicate and put into the ground. There we go. Cool. Now they can use the restroom. We need to put some waste bins down. These people are disgusting. And if I don't do this, they will just put their garbage anywhere they feel like, instead of like a simple, logical, reasonable place. Because why would you put it somewhere reasonable? I already have the trash bins along there, so that's good. There we go. We'll go to picnic benches. Put some picnic benches down. I feel like there's room. I'm not anticipating this being super crowded. So now there's room for people to sit with the food that they got. The only, actually, you know what? We're gonna move these benches. Because the only thing I might put up here with staff is some merch type stuff. If it can fit. Like, can I fit you here? Okay, I don't know why that would work, but sure. There we go. Information booth. People are real thirsty, so I think I might actually put down more drink booths too. Well, they're not going to be powered there, that's the problem. I think I could also just like stick a drink booth around here and it would be fine. Maybe if I put a drink booth here, they'll stop trying to lick the Arctic foxes there. If you put in vending machines, it's totally fine. But you're going to regret it if you don't increase the regularity that they're inspected. Because they break down all of the time. Having them be visited once a year is not enough. You have to set it to... I do 3 months. You might be able to get away with something shorter, like 6 months. We look at our guests. Yeah, needs are broadly met. They are really excited about this juice machine down here. It's kind of like, maybe if I put some vending machines in down here, they'll stop looking at the animals right here. I know it's too much to ask, but you know. That's not what I meant to click, but that's fine. Also, if I put food down here, like Trouble said, they might actually come all the way down. People are very excited about the information booth being over here. The only thing I might do is move this bench. Facilities. Merchandise. Just a memento. Can I put him here? Sure can. Does that look dangerous? Sure. Am I worried about it? Not right now. Here's a little tiny guest happiness area, basically. Somebody just left their trash on the table, because why wouldn't we? Oh, we got baby timber wolves. Where are they? Where's the puppers? There they are. Puppers! Aww. That's a little terrifying. There we go. Hi, babies. Now that we have puppers, they still have enough hard shelter, so that's good. Love that. The lines for the food does seem to actually have alleviated the issue of people standing here to look at the Arctic wolves. So, you know what? I'll take it. Do we have baby Arctic wolves yet? Maybe not. Not seeing any. I'm pretty proud of this, guys. I mean, it's definitely still a work in progress. I got a lot of prettying up to do. But, like, I think this is a pretty good start to the Wolfland. I think it's pretty good. I think we're off to a pretty good beginning here. And our guests are pretty happy. They could be more educated, you know, that's fair. But I also, you know, there's other things I could be doing for the education process that I haven't done. That could actually be a part of the process for a lot of this. Now that I have this going, people aren't really using this area, which is fine. I'm kind of curious. I can... put a little bit of a path through there. It's a little broken, but now people might actually walk through the jets and use them the way they're supposed to be used, which would be kind of cool. Although it completely broke this path here. I just want to see him do it. Okay. They did it. That's fine. I'm gonna put it back. This would have worked in a different world, but I didn't plan this out as well as I could have, but it's still pretty cool. This is pretty neat. I mean, I could do something like with ibex or something that can climb steep stuff and put a habitat there if I really wanted to. But I may just like the big open break from having anything to do. I'm gonna kind of think about that one. And this is pretty neat. I've been going about 3 hours, 45 minutes. I'm getting kind of hungry, and I'm kind of losing my ability to have much to say. So I think I'm gonna get going. Just because I kind of have to get going later today anyway. So I think I'll call the stream here. This seems like a good place to stop. And I'll check back in with you guys on how the zoo's doing soon. It'll probably look a little bit different the next time you see it. But I think I'm going to try to commit to actually making things pretty for a while instead of actually doing a habitat. Just because I need to kind of finish what I've started with a lot of these projects. But still, I'm pretty dang proud of this. Grab some kind of screenshot. Just to kind of show the progress over time. So much howling. So much howling. Are you trying to view the dang Arctic wolves? Why are you standing there, of all places, to see the Arctic wolf? People are like, I can't see the Arctic wolf. Yeah, I bet you can't. Oh, we're gonna have baby Arctic wolves. Let's, we'll wait around long enough so you guys can see that. Got a nice little talk going here. Baby Arctic wolves? Where are the baby Arctic wolves? Baby Arctic wolves. So much howling. Were they born? Nope, it's just gonna happen soon. There. Baby! Baby Arctic wolf! That tree's kind of floating. I didn't realize that. Baby! Oh, your tongue is glitching through your mouth. That was a little horrifying. Oh, hey, cutie. Aww. Aww. Love it. Love it. So like I said, I'm going to call the stream here. I appreciate everybody being here today. And I will see you soon, probably with more zoo or something while I do my weird hours for 2 weeks. Talk to you all later.